Hi, welcome back to Session 1, Part 2. We're going to move into True Colors, but before we do that, let's talk a little bit about breaks. One of the things that I've done when I've been coaching is to actually put the schedule up on the board so the clients know exactly what it is that we're going to be doing that day in the time frame. Many of them have other opportunities and things they need to do later in the day, so make sure you follow the time frame. Start on time and end on time, but also include the breaks. Breaks are extremely important for our clients. Some of them may need to get outside and just get a breath of air. Other times they may just need to have a cigarette. So please acknowledge their breaks and give them that and follow your schedule the way it's determined. Follow the lesson plan. That's important too. Make sure you do follow the plan as it's been designed. So during this break, this would have been an opportunity for you to set the tables up for True Colors. In your toolkit, you know you have all the different color tablecloths and all the things that you will need to do the True Colors activities, including all the handouts. Along the way, I've collected a lot of different things because I think it helps to have examples for clients to look at. So I've done some things with pictures to give them an idea of what a blue or a green or an orange might be. So when they come into the room, they can really look around and see a lot of those different things that may be called to them as they look at the tables to try to decide where they might sit. So you might want to think about going to the dollar store and collecting some little odds and ends or some toys or ideas, little race cars to put in those sessions or little test tubes or something to go along with those scientific ideas. I've collected notebooks with pens and papers to show lists and day timers, that sort of thing. Those are always fun, and they make the room look great when the clients come back from their break. True Colors is one of the best activities that we can talk about their personalities, what will happen in a business environment, etc. So really enrich that True Colors activity. Get together with your team and try to come up with some things that really highlight that session. Okay, so you have some examples. You've got your toolkit and the tablecloths. And when you start True Colors, one of the things that I've found that's worked the best is to really give the clients some time. Let things kind of percolate for them. Don't just rush into it and start giving them a lot of information. Let them get some ownership of that. The hardest thing that we can do is as coaches is to let them learn on their own. Not have us instruct them all the time, but let them kind of figure some of those things out. It's hard to do, but count to 5 and don't just start talking. Let them kind of learn as they go. The other thing that we can do with True Colors is make sure you have calculators. They're in your toolkit because adding up some of those things may be hard for some of our clients. Also find out if any of the clients in a very quiet way are having trouble reading some of the information. There's a lot of detail in those True Color handouts, and some of it's harder to understand. I know when I first went through it, because I'm a gold, I'm very literal, and I wanted to know exactly every little thing about it. So it took me longer to read through those things. So give them that time. There's no rush to get through True Colors, and it really sets the stage for them all 6 of the sessions. So take your time with True Colors and have some fun with it. The other thing to do is to do some sharing. Once they get back into their session, it's always interesting to see who's gold, who's a green, who's a blue, who's an orange, and how your table's actually all set out, where your chairs end up, and they all want to have time to look around to see who's where. A lot of them know each other, so they're going to be interested to know who's a blue or a green, etc. And then ask them to do some sharing. One of the things that I've found really helpful is to use some sort of a prop on the sharing. I usually have like a little microphone that's kind of a fun little piece, so that the microphone is something that they hold, and whoever's holding the microphone is the only one talking. Everybody will want to talk at once, but whatever each client says is important. So make sure you give them the time to say it, but also let them know that they can't just go on and on and on. Set a time frame. A lot of times I'll bring in a little egg timer, and I'll turn that on, and then when it ticks and bings, then they know it's time for them to stop and give someone else a chance to share. Everyone likes to talk, but make sure everyone also gets a chance to talk in all of your groups. So True Colors is one of the most fun activities that your clients will have, and they'll refer to it throughout all of the sessions. So once you're finished with True Colors, we move on to another important aspect of Session 1, and that's setting the stage for homework. Now they may groan and they may say, oh, homework, oh, I feel like I'm back in school again. But what we need to say and set the stage for homework is that this is their opportunity to learn more about themselves. These are things in these homework sheets that for them to do is so important, because when they do them, they will gain ownership of who they are, learn more about their skills. They'll also learn what kind of smarts they have inside of them. Also, they'll be able to look at what kind of an environment they want to work in, learn a little bit more about themselves that maybe they've never had time to do. You know, I always say to the clients, this is your time, this is your place to be able to do this, and it's really powerful to be able to give someone the time to do that. So what I say is, this isn't really homework. This is a learning process for you to get to learn something about yourself and who you are. So when you introduce the homework, don't just say, here's some sheets for you to work on. Say, here's an opportunity for you to learn more about yourself. So let's set aside some time when you get back to your program, wherever you're living at this point, and say, I'm going to take 20 minutes, shut the door, and learn a little bit about myself. So I would go through each of the homework activities, and I would say, here's what you can learn about yourself. Here's what you can do to help yourself move on to your next best life. And so again, this is not a dredge. This is not something they have to do. It's going to be something they want to do to learn more about themselves. So homework's important. Now, one last thing, when we're looking at the day of our day of graduation, one thing to remind our clients of is the fact that when they come to the day of graduation, they will need to set up babysitters and transportation. So when we introduce session 1, make sure you keep mentioning that they do have to provide, if they need childcare, they'll need to set that up in advance. They've got plenty of time. They also have plenty of time to set up transportation. I'd also mention about the graduation itself. Tell them a little bit about the day. This is a great day and a fun opportunity for them to actually see other friends that they've gone through this program with, put on a suit, look great, have a transformation, get all of these wonderful services, hear motivational speakers, have breakfast, have lunch, and really have a wonderful time getting a before and after photograph taken. So this is an important day. Every session should start with talking about what the next step is and what our goal is to lead to that graduation ceremony itself. So make sure they understand that. It's such a wonderful day, and sometimes it's hard to convey that, but if our enthusiasm can carry through, it will carry through to our clients as well. So make sure you really talk that graduation ceremony up. It's a wonderful day. So let's move on to session 2. Good luck with session 1, and remember, it's their opportunity to learn and to grow.